Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to fold a cat. Oh, not this cat, but this cat. The F-14 Tomcat. And actually, it's one of my most ambitious projects that I worked for almost 10 years. Although I look back, I think I can actually do it a lot quicker. And as you can see, it looks very realistic, and it has all these features of an F-14 Tomcat, including this sleek fuselage and this thing that almost replicates its center lift body design, this tunnel-like structure. And it not just have intakes and afterburners, but actually continuous, almost continuous engine pods. And the wings can also move like a real F-14 Tomcat. I'll show you how to do this. Yeah, you first unlock these wings, and then you just swivel in the wing, open it up, and then plug it in. The lower layer, plug it in, and then the upper ones, you notice that here, and you just swivel it, and then give it a little twist right here. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky. Just like the real F-14 Tomcat actually uses airbags actually. And the other side. Slide in the lower part, and then this part, just twist it, and then you just lay in this socket, locks up firmly, and yeah, the wings are now retracted. And actually, I suggest you fold this plane with foil paper because some parts can be really tricky to shape. Although actually, you can also use origami paper that is large enough. This one actually uses a sheet of origami paper of 53 GSM and 45 centimeters square, and it now just kind of sags instead of it's almost holding the shape like the foil paper. And if you use a paper that is 60 centimeters, congratulations, this is what you get. Almost a 72 scale model of an F-14 Tomcat, but only folded with just one sheet of paper. Let's do a comparison. As you can see, this is the origami version, and this is a scale model made by Century Wings of the 72 scale. And as you can see, these two have almost the same geometries, similar length and similar width, and almost similar height. Oops, this afterburner is falling off on the model. And you can also compare that the geometries are almost the same, because you just can't say there's that 100% 100, but almost identical, almost. Yeah, this is insane. So after this tutorial, you can actually have your own F-14 Tomcat model at any scale, and you don't have to waste tons of money on an expensive scale model that can only display on your table or on your shelf, that cannot fly. And this one, cheap, realistic, and also it flies. It's kind of fun. So let's begin. Okay, so let's get started. We are going to start from a smaller sheet of paper, and then when the video goes on, we are going to use a larger one. And so, this is a square sheet of paper, and let's make 2 diagonal creases. Okay, after you made these 2 diagonal creases, we are going to move these lines right into one of those center creases. Yeah, you have to make sure that this line right here lands right here. Not like this, not like this, not some crazy stuff like this. It should be right here. And now, let's do it to the other side. Okay. So, this is basically a kite base. And then we open this up and do it to the other side. Okay. And after you fold this, you notice that here is another triangle. We are going to flip it over and fold it down like this. And you have to make sure that you have this point at these edges right here. Not like this, not like this, not some crazy stuff like this. It should be right here, or the later steps will be totally messed up. And after doing so, let's unfold these 2 flaps, and you notice that here and here, these 2 lines, they have these intersections right at this point, and we're going to fold it over. Yeah, make sure that you actually have this line and this line landed together, and this point actually matching with this crease. And we go same for the other side. Okay, good. And then we flip it over again. And we're gonna fold this over like this, and same for the other side, and then fold this up. Yeah, this is pretty similar to Jason Murillo's Phoenix or his Peregrine. I actually take some heavy notes when designing the F-14 Tomcat from those 2 planes. And now you notice that here are 2 other lines being marked like this, and then we flip it over and then fold it here. You basically just land this part right at this line you made. And the same goes for the other side, like this. Okay, it should look like this. And then you flip it over again, and you notice that here you have this point, and this point, and this point. They actually are connected on the same straight line, and you're just going to fold it over like this. Oops, you have to make sure that everything just landed right there. Yeah. This part should be matched up, and same for this side and this side being perfectly matched, or your plane would be messed up again. And then after you do this step, you just have to follow this center crease and flip it over, fold it, and then you just unleash this layer right here, and we are going to pull this layer down. And after you do this, you notice that here is a point, and then use this point as a guidance, and then you fold it over and make sure that this line and this line being perfectly matched up. Yeah, it should be perfectly done, not doing somewhere else or what, because yeah, this is a precise model. And after you fold this, and you're going to move this crease upward like this. You just open it up and then make sure that this crease landed right here. It shouldn't be somewhere up or somewhere down. It should be right there. And then you unfold it and flip it to the other side like this. And then do the same. You just have to use this, fold it up, and then you just create these creases. And now let's go ahead and flip it over again, and just pull this down. Yeah, this is actually a modified preliminary base. And then you actually notice that you have some creases right here. These two creases, as you can see. You just have to move these creases right into this spot, this line. As you can see, right here and right here. You can take a closer look like this. So basically you just fold this upward, and you gonna crease it, fold it down like this. And now you'll notice that here is another tiny triangle and this crease, this line. And you're going to follow this line and fold it down, so this creates another crease for reference. After folding this down, you can just unfold this again like this, and then you follow this tiny crease you've made right here, and you pull it up and smash it, and you just have to open it up and then fold this down like this. Also, you have to check that you have to make sure some of your lines should be perfectly lined up, including this one. It should be perfectly matched at the center crease. After doing so, you can fold this down. And then flip it over and move this in right into the center crease, and same for the other side. After doing so, you just unfold it, and then you fold this up right to this point. Yeah, so this is going to make your cockpit a lot easier. And then unfold it like this. And then you unfold this and fold this down. Same for the other side. Follow this crease. Oops. And then just pile this open and smash it make sure again this point should be lined up with this line. Alright, and now flip it over and let's fold this two sides in. Like this. And then open it up. After doing so, you just have to flip it over again, and you notice this section, and we are going to follow these 2 points, and we're going to fold this tip up a little bit. Let's get a closer look. I'm gonna fold it up and like this. And after you fold this tip up, you just have to follow this crease and pull it. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky, but you'll make it. Yeah. After pulling it up, it should look like this. After doing so, you actually notice you have these 2 creases right here. Take a closer look, and we're going to fold them over, and same for the other side, like this. Take a closer look. Yeah. After doing so, you just have to open this up and fold it down, and like this. And then we're going to open this section up again, unfold it, and then you notice that here's a pocket, and you just have to pull the pocket out, and then you fold it like this, and then collapse it. So you have this tiny water bomb base which is originally trapped, and you free it out. Okay, and now let's see. We have this creases right here, this one, and this one, and you also have this one here. We actually made them, and we're going to follow these creases and fold it like this. As you can see, you have this kind of shape like this, and then you fold this up, and after doing so, you just have to collapse it. Oops, it twisted a little bit. Yeah, it should not twist. And then let's do it to the other side. like this, and then fold this up. Again. Fold this over and collapse it like this. Fold it down. Yeah, your model should look like this. Now, gonna open this up, and then you actually divide this section in half, and basically you just fold it down and make sure that this point lands right here. And you can also notice that your creases right here actually also matches and lands together. And then you move this part and fold it down. Yeah, it should look like this. And same goes for the other side. Oops, it twisted a little bit. Yeah, so this is what we got right now. And then you still remember this trapped little triangle or this water bomb base like here, and we're going to fold this tip down, and this tip should land right at this crease. It shouldn't go somewhere else. It should be right here, right at this, the intersection of this center crease and this crease. And after you fold this, you just unfold it and then open it up and sink this tiny bit like this. Come on, come on. Okay, it can be a little bit messy. You can actually also open this up and collapse it. Yeah, things goes the same. After doing so, you actually notice that it consists of this 4 triangles, and you pull this up, and same for the other side, and then like this, and collapse it. It should be like this. And then you flip this up again and flip it over, and notice that you have this point right here like this, and you have to fold this down. This tip has to fold down, and also make sure that you have this point right here matching with this crease. It should be perfectly lined up, and you unfold it. After unfolding it, you have to again notice that here is another point, and you're going to match this point with this point. You just fold it in half like so. Yeah, as you can see. And unfold it again. And now let's flip it over and open this up. And you notice that you have this creases right here, 2 creases, and then you follow the first crease and fold it down like this, and make sure that this point still lands with the center crease. And then we do it again, follow the next crease and fold it down, and fold down again, and now you can see that this line is now perfectly lined up with this point. And this section will actually become your color changing nose cone in the final product. Now let's use a larger paper. Alright guys, we come back and you now have this larger sheet of paper, and let's continue. So you notice that here this flap is free and it's connected by these 2 points right here, and you fold it down like this, then unfold it. And you also notice that here, this line, the water bomb base that you have one tip synced in, creates another reference point, and follow this point. You have to make sure that everything just stays perfect. This crease should be right at there. And you fold it down like this, and make sure that this point lands right at the center crease like this, and just have to smash it like this, and then you unfold it. And now you created 2 reference creases, one at here and one at here. And using your center creases, you may have to make sure that your finger, that you have these 2 layers right here, and your finger should be right here, in between these 2 layers. And same goes for the other side. Yeah, this is very important. And then just pull it down, squash it like this, and straighten it out. You have to make sure that everything is perfectly straightened right here. It can be a little bit tricky, but I'm sure you're gonna make it. And then just continue moving it and collapse everything like this. Yeah, again with that crease, actually this flap should be right here. And make sure that you have this lines right here as straightened as possible. And let's look to the other side, and you have this, and also this layers, this tips being wrapping around, and then you follow these points and fold it up like so. Same for the other side. And this will become some of your reference points and reference creases, and unfold it. And after you created these creases, you just have to pull this layer and make sure that connecting this point and this point, and let's go. You have to be really careful. And I recommend you use a ruler or some kind of tool like that when doing this step, so you can make it as straightened as possible. And this same goes for the other side. Match up these 2 creases and flip it up. Yeah, it has to be perfectly straightened. And after doing so, you have to fold this layer down and make sure that this line actually matches with the lower part, like so. Yeah, take a closer look. It should look like this. And same for the other side. Like this. And then you just have to flip this up, and then let's see. Notice that you have this kind of shape right here, and we're going to move this layer, this edge, right into this crease. I'll show you how to do it. You basically just fold it down like this, and then you open this part up, and on the other side you notice that here you're going to wrap around this part and make sure that it is right at here, right at this section, and make a right angle, and then you just have to pull it and collapse it like so. And same for the other side. Fold this down and also make sure that you have this matched up, and fold it over, and this point lands right here like so. Although actually it might be a little bit twisted because the paper itself just twisted in that way. And after doing so, you notice that you have this tiny bit of layers here, and another one here, as you can see. You can carefully use your tweezers as I show you and pull them up, put them out, and move them a little bit forward, like so. As you can see, it's been pulled out a little bit. Yeah, you can see now the difference on these two sides. You have this one here, and same for the other side. But make sure that both sides are symmetrical. Yeah, your plane should look like this now, as you can see. And let's check its symmetricity. And after you do this step right here, we are going to move on to have our wings opened up. So notice that first, before moving to our wings, we have these two flaps right here that are free. Yeah, these two parts are going to be your wing gloves right here. Or you can call them bleeding edge extension, whatever you want. Yeah, just fold it down and make sure that you have this line right here matching up with this line, as you can see. And the same goes for the other side. Right here. And take a closer look. And then after doing so, you have to just open it up. And then you notice that here you have this intersection crease. This line and this line, they have intersected, and then you have to fold it down right to this point. And when you move it down, you have to make sure that this tiny tip right here, has to land with this crease. And same for the other side. Like so. Okay, let's continue. So you have this, looks like this now, and let's unfold them. And you actually notice that you have this crease all over here, and we are going to sink fold it using this reference crease you just made. Yeah, basically just sinking this tiny triangle thing inward and fold it. Yeah, it should look like this. And same goes for the other side. Like so, just collapse it and sink it in. And fold it like so. And after doing this, let's pull our wings out. So basically you just flip this flap over, and then you notice that you have these two sections right here, and we're going to move this part, this flap. You pop this open and make sure these three layers are all on the underside of the wing, and then you just fold it up like this, and then you fold it down right here. Now straighten the creases like so. And the same goes for your other side. You just pop it up and make sure that all these three layers are on this side, and this side only has one layer. And just fold it, and then you fold it down. And make sure you get everything straightened up like so. You're gonna make your creases a lot more rigid by just smashing it with this holy charger like this. And you may notice one thing, that is, after you're doing so, you actually have some kind of area between this two. They are not directly matching with this crease. They are split open at the same angle. And you also have on the other side, this edge is actually right at here. And so what is next? We're going to fold this section. We actually split it in. You have this one layer down here and these two layers right here, and we are going to pop up this pocket a little bit like so. You can actually split it, and then you move this part a little bit forward, and at the same time you not only can use this to have this sort of thing to add some realism to the plane, but you also can, at the same time, this point is actually pushed right to this crease. Okay, it can be a little bit tricky, but it's not hard. It's simply just using the flexibility of the paper itself. And then this is actually pushed right here, and this side is pulled right there. And let's do the same on the other side. So just pop it up and pop this layer up. So just push it and then fold this down, and make sure that both sides of the plane are symmetrical. And yes, when you pull this section, actually, as you can see, it should be almost laying flat right here. It should not be twisted, although it may have this kind of bump like thing, but it should not have those twisted stuff. It should be almost laying flat. And now you have those layers being pushed right to this point. And we're going to straighten our creases like so. Alright, and now let's move on to our stabilizers. So you just have to flip this layer up like so, and you notice that you have a intersection between this line and this line, and we're gonna follow it right here and then pull it down like so. Yeah, as you can see, it's right here. It shouldn't be anywhere else. Perfectly matching here. And the same goes for the other side. Oops, it went a little bit further. It should be there. And let's see, we now have this kind of shape, and then fold it over, and let's do a symmetricity check. Yeah, this plane's symmetricity check can be very annoying. This is actually the most annoying one when it comes to symmetricity check. Okay, almost get both sides lined up, and now you notice that you have this trapped layer down there. I'm gonna pull it out. And all over there. careful not to poke your paper and smash it down. And same for the other side. And fold this down. You're never doing so. You have let me see. You open this layer of the wings again, and notice that here you have this crease made before, and you just have to move this layer down right here, up, right up to this crease, as you can see, like so, to this place. And this point is actually right here. Yeah. And you unfold it. You have this crease now, and you follow this twisting point, this intersection between this line and this line. You fold it up and fold this part like this, and it should be right at this edge. On the other side, it actually looks like this. And let's go ahead and fold it down. Yeah, it should be like this now. And we collapse this wing. And same for the other side. Fold this up. And fold this up. And this point goes to that point, and then you fold this over. Just twist it, and like so. And then collapse it. Now let's run a symmetricity check. It's important for this jet, or it's not gonna fly, or it simply won't look beautiful. It will look ugly. And okay, we almost have it. And now next step would be actually shaping our stabilizers out. And you notice that you have this crease right here and this crease right here, and we're going to match this line right to this crease, like so. And let's continue moving, and it should also have a twisting point, and you also fold this down. So you actually, in this way, you also created the flaps on the wings of the F-14 Tomcat, like so. Oops, let me check. And fold this down. And same goes for the other side. like so. And make sure that both sides are symmetrical. Okay, let's start running it. Come on, don't make this too hard for me. Alright, it's perfect now. And then let's continue. And we actually notice that we have another pocket right here, and you swivel this tip right into this pocket like this. And the same goes for the other side. And then you fold it down as far as you can, and it should have this kind of trap right here. And let's see on the other side, it's almost having this thing, but for this I have to check it a lot more thoroughly on the symmetricity. Alright, we're back, and actually I have to cut some of those most annoying symmetricity checks when folding this jet, because if I filmed all of them, this video might be super long. Yeah, so actually, as you can see, you just have to fold this flap over here, and you make sure that you have this point landed right at this crease. And same for the other side. You basically just land it here. Take a closer look. This tip and this crease, they're lined up. They have to be perfectly lined up. After you do so, you have to notice that you have this tiny tip right here. And we are going to fold this tip right here. As you can see, the intersections between this line, and we point it right here, like so. You can take a closer look. And same for the other side. And you fold it up, and then you notice that you also have this crease right here, and using this crease you actually make another reference point, and that is the intersection between this crease and this line. And follow this intersection, you fold it up, and make sure that the crease that you are going to create here is parallel with this crease, like so. And same for the other side. And let's check it a little bit. And at the same time, you may notice that this line and this line is also parallel almost. After you do this, let's flip it over, and you notice that you have this tiny triangle thing being sticking out, and we are going to fold it down according to this point and this point right here. You can also take a closer look if this part, if you actually, some parts you didn't watch too carefully, how the structure is for the upper intake, like so. And then you fold this down and twist it right to this point and this point, and you're gonna fold it like so, and make sure that the line is straight. It has to be. And same for the other side. Yeah, this should form your wing gloves. And collapse it. And now we notice that these wings are here, and we are going to make this swivel wing function. And first step is you fold this in like so. And same for the other side. And then you fold this down. Make sure that this line and this line, take a closer look, this line, they have to be as straight as possible. Yeah, this is how the F-14 Tomcat has its wings in swept mode as supersonic flight. Although this one cannot supersonic fly because it has no engines. This is just an origami plane. It's a model, not a real jet. The real jet, you have to go to Iran to fly one of those planes. And as you can see, these two are actually matches up. And then you open it, and then you make another crease like so. Basically, you're just using this crease you just made right here, and it almost divides this angle into half. Now let's collapse it. And this section, yeah, that's how the wings are fully opened when the plane is taking off, or subsonic flights, or in a slow speed dogfight World War II style. And after doing so, you open the wings again, and then we're going to move on to the next step. So basically you have several reference line creases, and one is right here, and we're going to use it. Yeah, it should be matching up with this one. So fold it down, and this layer you can actually fold this over a little bit to make things a lot easier. And same for this side, you can now free it up. To make things a lot easier. Yeah, and after doing so, you just have to follow, again, you follow this crease. Make sure that this is actually lined up straight, and fold it downward like so. And then same for this side. Follow this crease, and then using this as a reference, and then collapse it. And also you can check your symmetricity. Okay, and after you fold this like in this shape, and you notice that you have this layer right here, and you fold this using this crease over, and like so, as you can see, and then collapse it. Same for the other side. And this is going to be part of your locking mechanism. When it comes to the wings, yes, the wings have a separate locking mechanism, or the wings will sag if you use too large paper. It's not gonna fly well, the wings won't generate lift properly. And after you fold this over, you unfold it to this step again, and then notice that here is a point right here, and this part, you actually have this crease. Take a closer look. You have this crease, this intersection, and you fold it over and adjust carefully. Give it this time a little bit twist right here. So this should lock your wings in swept mode. Yeah, fully swept. In this video, I'll just introduce how you lock your wings in fully open and fully swept. For other angles, I suggest you just explore it yourself, because it's gonna be plenty. The real F-14 actually uses a flight computer to adjust the angle of the wings according to its current speed, which is something this model cannot do because it has no microprocessors. And yes, we have our wings locked like so. This is one part, and the other part is, you notice that actually here we have 1 and 2 layers out there, and we're going to pull out this lower layer here, and you have to be careful that when you fold this, you pull it up, and you also take out this section right here, and then you collapse it. Take a closer look like so, and you can pull it out a little bit further like this. And actually this line and this line, this part and this part are actually somewhat parallel. Let's do it to the other side. Like this. Oops. Let's check it again and make sure that both sides are symmetrical. And after you doing so, you have to now open this up again and twist this layer right into the pocket, so it will reduce your drag when it flies, and pull it in. Like so. And same for the other side. Just pull and wiggle it in like this. And make sure that both sides are symmetrical. Alright, let's move on. So now you just have to do another thing, and that is make your locking mechanisms when the wings are fully opened. So how it's done? First, you have to unlock this flap right here, and then you move it forward. And as for this layer, you pull this out a little bit, and then let's see, continue to pull it out, and you notice that here you have a crease that you previously made, and you just have to twist it out a little bit, so it should look like this. Like so. Yeah, that's how the wings get extended on one side. Also make sure that everything is laying flat. And this tiny bit of extra layer will actually be your locking mechanism. You just have to fold it in like this. Yeah, that's how you lock the wings in extended mode. Let's do for the other side. Basically, you just free this up first, and then you pull this out. Be careful. And just have to fold like this, and come on, don't make this too hard for me. That's how we get the other side open up, and adjust the symmetricity again a little bit. Seems like I have pulled the wing a little bit too further, like so. And then after doing this step, yeah, the locking mechanism actually goes for the same. Just fold it up and crawl this tiny triangle inward to the pocket like this. Yeah, as you can see, this is how you lock your wings when they're extended. And also, when actual flying, you have to make sure that those wings are laying flat, and it should not wobble. And this is a lot easier when you use foil paper. And why I actually recommend foil paper to make a flight model for this one. Okay, now let's return it. So first you just again reverse everything, you flip it over, and same for the other side. Like so. And then you just wiggle them in like this and like this, and twist this layer up, and same for the other side. And fold it up so the wings will lock soundly. And then flip this over and open this pocket and slide in, and slide in this one again. So now we have to move on to the next step. Let's have our vertical stabilizers folded out. So basically you just fold this over, and you notice that you have this flap over here, and we're going to move it like so, and make sure that you have this line right here. You have a point that goes right to this intersection of this two. There should be an intersection. It should land there. After landed your layer right here, you notice that this intersection, and you follow this point and to this point, and you fold it downward. This will become your vertical stabilizers. Yeah, it's kind of simple. And let's fold it down. So, and then collapse it. You have this one, and same for the other side. You go from this pivot point and then landing the crease, land it here, and then twist it like so, and then collapse it. Maybe it can go further. Yeah, it can be tricky. Now let's do another symmetricity check. Hope this is not that hard or annoying. Anything, call it. this. Come on. Well. Much more annoying than I expected. Alright, let's move on. So you have this vertical stabilizer right here, and now we're going to flip it up like so. Yeah, this is common practice to have the cockpit, although in this one some parts may alter a bit for that realism. See, folding this up, this pedal fold up, and you actually have some of those odds you have to deal with, and it is actually folded like this. Okay, so same on the other side. You just have to move it and shape it like so. Move it upward a little bit. So now you see it, and after doing this step, you actually open this up and flip this tiny bit over and twist it like so, and fold this to the other side so it reduces the drag. You eliminated these pockets. Okay. So now, after doing this step, you still notice you can actually fold this up a little bit, but don't crease it too hard. And let's work on these two tips right here. And take a closer look. What? Okay, so as you can see, you have these two tips, and follow the creases you actually made previously. You just fold it in like so. As you can see, it's right here. And then you just have to notice that right within this part you have this kind of layered thing, and you just twist it a little bit like this, as you noticed, like this. And then you fold it down so you actually can lock your wingtips. And same for the other side. And we're gonna wiggle it down a little bit and use this charger to actually make our creases a lot more better. Good. Now let's move on to the cockpit. So basically, as you can see, you have this point and you have this point. We are going to, but we're not going to go to this point. We're going to this low. First, we are going to fold it down first, and then we match this point right here. And then we fold this up and make sure that this line and this line being parallel. Yeah, it's pretty simple. I should have not explained this that much because this part actually is very common thing on those origami jets to form a cockpit. You just open it up. Same for the other side. And then you pull this layer out like so, and then you have this triangle thing wiggling, and you just poke it in, collapse it, but it's not over yet. You have to open this up first. Then you actually have, as you can see, it's like this now, and you have this intersection right here, and we're gonna fold it like so, and we can fold this flap down to take a better look, and make sure that you have this line and this line being meshed up like so. Yeah, and now you notice that here is a line and here is the center, and we're gonna fold it in like this, and same for the other side. Like so. And after you create these two creases right here, you just have to fold this flap up and make sure that this two lines, yeah, this point actually lands on this crease. And same for the other side. Up a little bit like so, and then you fold this in and then squash this triangle thing out there like so, and same for the other side. Come on, come on. Oops. Okay, now so it's slowly taking shape, and then you notice that you have these creases you previously made here, and you fold, or you just fold this point right to this crease like so. And same for this side. And you may notice that you have this kind of thing right here now. And then we divide this line into 1/3. And then fold this down. You make sure that this point lands right into this line's middle section, which is actually 1/3. And after doing this step, you have to, let me see, you can actually fold this down like so. And same for this side. And then you just follow this part and then crease it, and make sure that you have this line and the center crease being parallel. Yeah, and it's important. Same for this side. Hope it didn't twist that much. And yeah, let's do another symmetricity check. And you have your cockpit. Yeah, your cockpit is here now. And now let's make the fuselage a lot more sleeker. So first thing, you just have to fold this up right here. Make sure that you have this, you're using the cockpit as a reference, like so. It should be right there. And same for this side. And you make sure these creases are straight. You have to. And you can check the symmetricity on both sides, like so. And after doing this step, you unfold it and change the direction. Yeah, it's just transferring this valley fold into a mountain fold. It's not hard. The valley fold is for your reference, and the mountain fold is for your shaping in this section. Like this. And same for the other side. Like so. Careful, don't rip your nose, because it's going to be really, the layer is going to be really thick out there. And that's literally a tiny point, that pointy thing. Adjust it carefully. Yeah. So now, after doing so, you fold this flap up. And then you actually open up a little bit, and notice that this crease out here, it should land at this edge. So, and then same goes for the other side. Fold this over. And matching this crease right to that point. Also remember to check your symmetricity. Fold it in a little bit. Well, let me need some symmetricity checks. Fold it over a little bit. Yeah, your crotch should look like this now, and let's do another check, and let's move these layers down and trap them inside. And now we notice that we have this tip right here, and then fold it in and fold this in like so, and then you fold it up right into this section and collapse it like so. And same for this side. Fold it inward. This should lock up your nose. And now it's slowly taking shape. And you still notice that you have this nose cone section. And what you're gonna do is to tab it in like this. And let's flip it over and then fold it down like so. Yeah, it's just making this to this part. And just fold it like so, and then you pop it out, and then using this as a reference point and matching with that pivot point right there, and you created this. And same on the other side. Oops. Hey, what's the matter? Yeah, it should look like this. And now notice that you have this section right here, and we're going to do a little bit twist. So you just fold this flap down a little bit, and you have this point, guide point right here, created by your stabilizer, and then you just keep moving to that part. Yeah, basically you're just twisting it and moving it down like so. Yeah, it should be like this. You have this almost at this point, and this kind of twisted thing. And same for the other side. Just fold this flap down and keep folding it right to that place like so, as you can see. And then you notice that this point and this point right here, and we're gonna fold it down. And same for the other side. After doing so, you unfold it, and you notice that here is a line and this crease you just made. You fold it in and make sure that this crease lands right here, and then fold it down. Same for the other side. Like so. And it should look like this. And you open it up and fold this down. Same for this side. And then you can fold this inward a little bit. And then fold it in and fold it down. Hey, what's up? Fold it in like this. And then you flip it over and do some checkings, and you still notice that you have these creases right here. And you follow this crease that you previously made and fold it down. And same for this side. Yeah, as you can see. And unfold it. And you notice that you have this kind of section, and we're going to fold this from this point right to this point and fold it down like so. And same for this side. Collapse it. And now you notice that you have this actually a little bit stretching out a little bit, and then just wrap it around. And same for this side, you wrap it and then you open it up, and you fold this down right here. Yeah, it should be like this. And this side, you right here, and you're actually shaping your folding the creases for your intakes like so, and open it up, and then you match this line right to that crease like so. And same for the other side. And then after doing so, you just unfold it again, and you notice that these creases and this crease actually have several intersections. And then we have followed these intersections and made some other folds, including folded this. We make sure that it's almost parallel right here. This one, and then this one. And then unfold it, and this part the same, and fold it down. Alright boys, let's jet fold. Yay! So notice that here is a point right here, and it's going to be one of your reference points for jet fold, and make sure that you open this up before jet folding so it can be a lot easier. I'm gonna fold this down a little bit and then fold it like so and push it inward. And when doing so, actually make sure that you have these two lines are almost parallel. And then use your fingers and apply some force to this part, and also your table is serving as a tool right now. And to each side, you just apply the force as much as you can so you can make the crease a lot more rigid, and it's holding the shape a lot better. So after doing this step, you can continue and fold this down and strengthen the crease like so. Fold it down. Like this. Then go ahead and crease these things, and you can fold your wings like this. Yeah. And after doing so, you can actually move on to your locking mechanism. Yeah, this locking mechanism is actually the easiest one. You just notice that you have this flap over here, and it's gonna serve as it, and you just fold this in. This is your first step, and you fold this again, and collapse it like so. Come on. Yeah, we're getting close. And then after this step, you can actually fold this in a little bit. And yeah, basically the rest of the steps are actually all about shaping to make it more realistic. The structure is almost done. So you can use some tools like tweezers to make them more rounded. And this is the nose section. Just round it like this. And then you just notice that you have these flaps over here, and this too, you just pile them open like so and connect them with the forward part. Yeah, it forms a similar tunnel-like structure on a real F-14 Tomcat, which is used for adding some extra lift to the aircraft. And you just wrap it around like so, and the foil paper helps to maintain this shape like this. Yeah, almost perfect, almost perfect. You have this fuselage and this tunnel structure being done. It's the center lift body of the F-14 Tomcat. And then, using the creases you previously made, let's now pop out our intakes. So in popping the intakes, you basically just have one thing to do before that, and that is, you notice that when you fold this in the 1/4, and then you first need to tweak this tiny layer bit with this point and the other point, and gonna fold it down and fold the other side like so, and should look like this. And then just use your tweezers to pop this out, and let's go ahead and make these square things out. Like so. You get one side of your intake, although later you have to unfold it again to connect it with your engine pod. Yeah, it looks like this. And same for the other side. You just pop it out and again. Oops. Let's adjust it a little bit. Yeah, you have the other side of your intake, and it looks pretty cool and realistic. Now let's move on to the afterburners and your engine pods. So first step, you notice that here is a pocket right here. You can open it up like so, and then you pull this layer over and carefully move it and flatten it out like so. And yes, this part is actually a lot easier if you use foil paper. If you use other type of paper, it will be really hard, and you need to do some adjustments. And then after you flatten it, you just pull this layer as far as you can, you know. And now you can see the difference on the sides. And same for the other side. You poke it in and twist it out. Again. Just have to lay it flat. And then pull it out as far as you can. Like so. And then fold it a little bit. And it should look like this. Like this. Yeah. This is going to be your engine pods. Shape it a little bit. And after you shaped everything, you just have to fold it up like so. And right to that point, collapse it. And same for the other side, make sure things are parallel. And also symmetrical on both sides. So it's not gonna look awkward, it's gonna look fine. And then you just have to, let's see, you notice that here is a layer out here. I'm gonna twist it up so you can lock your afterburners. Like so. So it's kind of tricky. I suggest using tools. And you just have to do this, and you actually pull them in and fold it like so. And same goes for the other side, like this. And smash it, and yeah, it looks like this now. Alright, so now let me charge my camera. Alright, let's continue. And I also just fed my cat, and let's see, we just moved right here now, and then you have to poke it with your pen to make the afterburners. So, and yeah, you can see it's actually now rounded. I suggest using a pen to do so. Poke it and round it, and then you actually just have to shape it like this, and you have one side of your engine pod like this, and same for your other side. Just have to poke it and round the engine, and add some creases right here. So as you can see, you have these two afterburners here. Let's see, yeah, you gotta be careful. And then you can see there's two engine pods here, and then let's go ahead and connect the intakes with the engine pods. So how do you do it? First, you just have to unfold this a little bit, but not completely unfolding it, and using some other creases you just made, and you just wrap it around like so. It's not hard. If you use foil paper, it's not hard, and if you use other paper, it works, but just a little bit tricky. And now basically just connected one engine with one intake, and then let's connect the other. Basically just unfold this a little bit, and then you wrap it around. A little bit, just be careful. Yeah, now you have your engine pods connected, and then let's fold our vertical stabilizers. Basically you just use some kind of tool to pull them up like this, and same for the other side, like this. Pull it up. It's pretty basic, and just fold them up. And then straighten them out like so. You have your tail fins, the vertical stabilizers, and to make things a little more realistic, it's not over yet, and we're going to shape it like this. You just notice at this point and this point, you twist it a little bit upward, and then for this side you just twist it like so, and as you can see, you actually move this engine up a little bit. This is right down and this is right up, and actually this part is actually a little bit middle section. Instead of directly hovering above the engines, the real jet is like that. And let's adjust it. Intakes a little bit on this side. Yeah, it's got messed up a little bit. And now let's do to this side. Basically just tweak it up like so. You can see the crease now. And oops, what am I doing? And like this, and then you fold this, round it a little bit, and let's do some final shaping to make it look better. Straighten it out. Do some final adjustments. And congratulations! You just made the F-14 Tomcat, and it's ready to highway into the danger zone. Alright, congratulations on making your own F-14 Tomcat origami fighter jet, and now let me tell you how to play with it. So now, as you can see, you can make the wings angles to either fully open or fully closed, and you can adjust other angles in your own experiment, like 45 degrees or anything you want to experiment. That's up to you. And when adjusting, I suggest you just tweak this tail fins, the ailerons, and this vertical stabilizers. And in some of my tests, this plane actually has very good climb rate because it is very good at generating lift, but it doesn't really perform well in distance flight because the wings sometimes do kind of wobble and thus disrupting the lift. That's a common issue for variable geometry wing origami planes, and I actually tried my best when working on this, and then maybe I may make another more complicated version of this that has landing gears, maybe. And as you can see, when it's actually fully extended, the performance is actually much more closer to some sort of glider or something. You give it a firm toss and it should just glide pretty well, or you just swap them in and it somewhat flies like a dart, basically. Overall, this is a pretty nice model, and you can also make your own. And then if you can make one on your own, you can actually save that money for some other stuff instead of buying an expensive scale model of an F-14 Tomcat that can only be displayed on your table or shelf that cannot fly. And this one, you can have tons of fun with it. Okay, thanks. And then what planes you want to see next? Just tell me in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Archangel is off.